Hello and welcome to my Draw My Life video. I was born on the 6th of April 1994 in a place called Durham, which is in like the middle of England. Fun fact, I was born on my lounge floor while my sister played in the other room with Play-Doh, so that was great. I was a fat, ugly troll as a child, and I was around 10 days overdue. That's me in my mum's stomach. And that is also me being a comic genius. On the day that I was born, my sister with her crazy hair woke my parents up to say that God had told her I would be born that day. So basically, I am Jesus, guys. I'm the youngest out of a family of four, so there's my dad, my mum, my sister and me. After I was born, my parents decided not to have any more children because they had found perfection in me, and my mum made my dad get the snip, which I imagine he cried over because I think I would have. When I was 2, my mum decided that she'd had enough of living in Durham and said to my dad, I'm moving back to Worthing and I'm taking the kids, are you coming with us? He obviously said yes, and so we moved from Durham all the way down to Worthing, which is there. Great picture. Brill. I had no interest in boys' toys whatsoever, and quite frankly could not understand why other boys didn't want to play with princesses. I remember my dad taking me and my sisters to watch The Little Mermaid at the cinema, and my life was changed for good. I was obsessed, and obviously this pleased my dad a lot. From then, I had all of the stuff. I had a swimming bag, a really badly drawn light, a Barbie, literally everything. One day, my parents took me and my sister to Disneyland Paris, and it was our first time riding the Eurostar, which was cool. And I vividly remember Ariel blowing a kiss to me during the Disney parade, and that's me telling my mum that she kissed me. On that trip, I took my cuddly toy of Flounder and accidentally dropped him on the train tracks on the way home. I then refused to get on the train because I was such a sassy child, and the train guard had to get him off the track and then give him to me. Then I went on the train because I was happy and had got my own way. As you can probably imagine, I got quite badly bullied between the age of like 5 and 15. It started with them just calling me Mermaid Boy, but then it moved on to every variation of gay, and this made me sad, so that's why I've drawn a sad face. At this time I had really, really bad teeth, so they all used to call me Beaver as well, which was fab. Soon after starting school, I made best friends with a girl called Laura, and we were both so fucking weird, but we loved each other. And also she would always let me be the princess when we played Disney films in the playground. Good times. We were completely inseparable. We would have sleepovers, we'd play with Barbies, we'd watch Disney films, and also I viewed her old house with her and her family, and I'm pretty sure they only got it because I said that I liked it, so there we go. At some point in first school, I also made good friends with a girl called Megan, but unfortunately the only memory I have of her is swapping my Furby for her doll of Meg from Hercules. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say on that. Me, Megan and Laura went to different middle schools because in Worthing you go to first, middle and high school, so we lost contact. And this is where the story gets a little bit sad, but don't worry, all Disney princesses have that moment in their story where it's all shit. I have drawn all the bullies as penises just to sort of hammer home the message that they were dicks. Basically, this is the point where the bullying went from being just verbal to also physical, and that is a tiny penis. It had an effect on my mental health. I got quite bad OCD, hypochondria and anxiety to the point where I would have regular panic attacks where I would feel like I was going to stop breathing, which was always fun. I also had an obsession with being clean, so I would excessively wash my hands. I remember taking a wire brush from the kitchen and using scalding hot water with this wire brush to clean my hands until they bled, and one time my mum found me doing this, and I think that was the point when she realised that the bullying had got way out of control and something needed to be done. As a distraction, I started to throw myself more and more into theatre and was introduced to one of my favourite shows called Wicked. In 2009, my parents took me and my sister to see the show in London. I am so embarrassed of this picture, I'm so sorry guys. Around this time as well, I was then reconnected with Megan and Laura, and for the first time ever, my friends actually have my back, and they still do to this day, so I love them both. In 2010, it was time for us all to move on to college. I wanted to study musical theatre, but my parents wanted me to get A-levels. I never actually got as far as A-levels because I failed my first year, and then they let me do musical theatre, so win-win. When I was studying musical theatre, I made really good friends with Phoebe, Rosie, Amelia and Lorna, and also made my first ever male best friend, all before realising that everyone at school was right and I was indeed a raging homosexual. I also had quite a few other firsts while studying at college. I played my first ever leading roles, which were Romeo in Romeo and Juliet and the MC in Cabaret. I lost my virginity to a girl who, funnily enough, is now a lesbian, and I had my first experience of clubbing, which was a lot better than that picture. So after leaving college, I finally had the confidence to come out to my close friends and immediate family, and they basically all were like, we know. In 2014, I had my first love interest. I use that term very loosely because it definitely was not love. We bonded over our mutual love for Frozen and not a lot else. For one of our dates, we went to the Brighton Wheel, to the Sea Life Centre and out for dinner, and it was really cute. After about 2 months, we finally decided that we weren't meant to be together, so we broke up, and that was probably one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. After a couple of months, I then got my first ever full-time job and met a girl called Emily, who's one of my best friends. Around this time, I also had an epiphany from God and started to pluck my eyebrows. Fast forward to the 24th of September 2015, and my sister and her husband Dean had a baby called George. I'm slightly obsessed with him, but we're going to leave that there because otherwise this video would go on forever. George is the 6th member in my family and I love them all very much. Side note, my dad also saw the light and stopped looking like an 80s porn star and got rid of the moustache. As well as my family, I also love my friends. I don't know where I'd be without them, so shout out to Tash, Megan, Laura, Gabby and Daisy. So this kind of brings my Draw My Life video to a close. The other day I reached 241 subscribers on YouTube. I know that doesn't sound like a lot to a lot of people, but to me it's literally everything. I don't really know what's going to happen in 2016, but the only thing that I do know is that I want to regularly make YouTube videos. Please keep subscribing and liking my videos, it really does mean a lot. I'll see you all next time I make a video, and have a good life between now and then. Bye!